Hello to all my lovely subscribers. This is Usually Fixing and Tinkering, and we are going to the Motorist. Well, we should be at the Motorist. Well, for you, it will be 30 seconds from now. Unfortunately, my original intro for this video decided to become slightly corrupted, so I thought it would be best to actually just do it afresh. This is going to be a fantastic two-parter show, and we have quite a mixed bag. We have British, we have German, and we have a lot of Mark 1 content. So content for absolutely everybody. And the day was so good, I ended up catching a sunburn, believe it or not. And it was one wicked day. I loved it, and I loved the people I met. Enjoy. Now these cars are going to be the subject of a slight speciality towards the end of this video. So keep in touch with that. But anyway, over here we have quite a few different cars for show. We've got a load of random stuff at the Motorist. I've never been here before. I've only been aware about this place for the last 6 months. It's an all-in-one. You've got a garage, you've got a body shop, you've got a restaurant. It's an absolutely fantastic place to come. We have quite a mixture of cars over here. It is a British themed car day event, but anyone can turn up. So we have a number of cars that have come for the show. Oh my goodness me. We have a Mercedes. Good grief. Is this a 190 by any chance? Because it's possibly that. It is an automatic. That's a lovely dashboard, that is. That's quite exquisite. And what have we got round the back here with these lovely ribbed lights? Ah, right, it is a 300CE 24 valve. Now I suspect that's a straight 6.3 litre. I'm assuming that because I don't know an awful lot about Mercs of this age, but what I do like to see is patina across the chrome. That is a really nice thing, and you know what, people don't like this stuff, they get rid of it. I like it, I really do. I like the headlamp washers as well, with the complete wiper blades, which I believe only a few manufacturers make this sort of stuff. A lot of Volvos use the same thing from the same sort of age, but it is incredibly difficult now to get the wipers for it. We have a Mark 6 Ford Fiesta that has been parked up, a British car by all means, and a very popular one. In fact, I would argue that this is probably the last great Ford that has been made. Controversial opinion, I know, but the truth is this is a modern, this is a future classic, 100%. I think in about 5 to 10 years people are going to start buying these for the sake of prosperity. It is the last Ford that you can consider to be an old school, fun, small, cheap Ford, exactly like the old stuff. Next to it we have this Toyota. Oh God, Andrew, you forgot the name again, haven't you? Yes, it's an MR2 Roadster. Why did I not know it's an MR2? Because quite frankly, I should. I think this is the could be the 3rd or 4th generation. I'm not too. I'm a bit hazy with MR2s. I love the actual air vent going to the back there. That's a really sporty driving, nice hood. I quite like the rear lights actually. It is the Roadster version. Got some patina. It's well used. It's what we like to see. It is quite a common thing for these to go on the headlights. I've seen a few of these with yellow headlights, but all it needs is a nice wet sand. And of course we have big Mercs, but we don't talk about SUVs on this channel because I don't like them. Land Rover, the Motorist. This is their own vehicle as well, sales and service. I think I actually followed this coming all the way in. I just love a disco. I think, oh yes, it's a TD V6, the Discovery 3. I think this is when they started to get a little bit more complicated. Don't tell me it's an automatic. How does that work on an all-wheel drive car? Mind you, saying that, Land Rover, Range Rovers, they're all automatics these days. The new Land Rover Defender, I think it's standard as an automatic from what I can assume. Anyway, as we come down here towards the body shop at the back, we have, oh, I really like these cars. VW Up GTIs. I think these are so popular because they're just small and dainty and fun. And it's just harking back to the good old days of the Mini, when cars were small and practical and fun and cheap. And I think the reason VW have been selling these since, what, 2011? And they're still in production today is because they can't better it. What product are they going to offer that's going to be better than this? The sad truth is, because of the modern aspect of electric cars and SUVs, this will die out like the rest, which is a really sad thing, because I think these are absolutely wicked cars, and I think one of the few VWs that actually I really like, a modern car, and I have considered owning one of these myself. It's just fun, quaint, and slightly old school. Oh yes. We have another GTI next to it. Ooh, okay, it's had the old cone filter assembly done. A dainty little 3-cylinder engine, I believe. Like most engines these days, they are 3 cylinders instead of 4 for improved emissions. VW love the check seats. White wheels. Another GTI. We've got another GTI here with Sparkos on the car. Oh yes. Scary up. Very nice indeed. And then we have another one here as well. Wow. I love the check pattern on the seats. I just think it is just, I keep repeating myself, but honestly, I think it's such a nice touch, the 80s touches from a VW perspective. I think it's the sort of thing that people get nostalgic about, and I think it's something they've quietly reintroduced to a lot of their cars around the 2010s onwards. I don't pretend to know a lot about VWs, but it's a nice touch. It looks like to me we've had a bit of a mini meetup of VW Ups. Direct spark, well, presumably that's you got your pencil coil packs, no Healey's direct spark ignition. Got some silicon going on here. Well, we've got some blue silicon, we've got some red silicon. Seems to be a very popular modification to put the cone air filters, but that's the way to do it. You put a cone filter inside a box. You don't put it without the box, because otherwise it's just sucking heat from the engine bay. A lot of Ford Focus people do this, where they've just put the cone on the side and they don't put the box around it. Ugh. It's just sucking up hot air, and hot air is not good for an engine, particularly in the summer. Mark II ST just driving out in really good unmodified condition. I have just spoken to the owner, they're just leaving. That's nice. I love the fact that there is a strong ownership group for VW Ups. I know that the VWs are extremely popular, particularly the Varman stuff, but it is just nice to see appreciation for what is probably the last small car that, not being funny, is cute. It's cute, it's cheap, it's pointy and nice to drive. I have actually driven a VW Up very, very briefly. It was an ex-partner's car, and it is everything that a small car should be. And this one particularly has stood out. I mean, you can see the amount of work that the owner has done. I mean, he's put the full roll cage in, Cobra Sports bucket seats, with the obligatory fire extinguisher. Grief. And apparently this goes like stink, from what I've been told. Proper hell. Oh dearie me. Now, I'm a bit speechless at the moment, because I think this is pretty fast. I believe that is the Insta. I think that's his name. Absolutely cracking. I mean, oh dear me, the marble. It's a nice touch, these are. Oh, obviously we've got to have the catches for the bonnet. Right, there's a lot of noise going on, so bear with my voice. So I'm going to go around here. We don't talk about these. No, that's quite nice. Oh, good grief. Yeah, that's quite high-powered A35 AMG. I do like, I'm not being funny, the air vents on these Mercedes, they are something else. They've really made them look really nice. And then coming over here, we've got a Hyundai i30. These are really cute. I like the door handles, that's a classy touch. I've confused these with Mazda in the past, so it's the N line. I don't know why, but Mazdas and Hyundai seem to have a very similar styling cue these days. Anyway, I'm going to concentrate on these later, so forgive me, I'm not ignoring the Focuses. This one has just pulled up here. Hyundai. That's just Japanese all over. Pop-up headlights, the works. The NSX is always something to behold. And very, very rarely seen these days. There are more people coming in now. Wow, we have a VW Golf GTI, which has been substantially reworked. Substantially reworked by the look of it. Ah, you got the fishnets. I love a good pair of fishnets. They were very popular once upon a time. Check seats, all the nice touches. Next door we have a Scirocco, and I have to say, I think this is one of the few cars, again, VW again, that I would actually like to own. I like the styling. Some people that might be a bit blotchy, but I think they did a really good job in bringing back the Scirocco name with this car, and I really do think it deserves it. There are a lot of cars that have got names from the past who really don't deserve them. They just look nothing like the original concepts or have no connection to the original cars whatsoever. But this, yeah, they got it right with this car. GTI Golf, Mark. I might get killed for saying the wrong one, but I think it's a Mark 6. No, it's a Mark 7, I think. DSG gearbox by the look of it. Yeah, this is getting some attention. McLaren P9. Okay, that's quite velvety.
Part of it was like, I'm going to get a 2013 right, instead of it raining.
Now, something that has caught my attention in the car park is this lovely two-door Renault Megane coupe. I mean, you don't see many of these. I mean, on a P-Reg as well. That's absolutely cracking. These cars look absolutely cracking back in the day. And I know the front ends, for some reason, they look like Alphas from a similar age. I don't know why, but there seems to be a lot of styling copying. Fuji. And we have the... Do you call it blue or do you call it green? Bit of both, really. That's just so clean and tidy.
This is a 97.
I know some people here actually are not part of this, so I'm going to skip through a few cars and go to the interesting ones, because that's what you want to see. And obviously Dave, I've got your best car here, buddy. Another car, another Capri. C-Reg 85, and it's a laser. Oh, and it has the striped interior. Cloth interior. No leather here, exactly as presented. And this would have been a 1.6. Yep. With your usual ribbed lights and obviously usual scabbiness on the back bumper. Gorgeous. And over here we have quite a few cars. I'm going to actually start from this side and then work my way forwards. We have a Morgan Plus 4 of a certain, I can't tell what age it is actually. That's the problem with Morgans. It's like they just got the car design stuck on a photocopier. So they basically just kept replicating the same design but changing the engine and the gearbox naturally to suit emissions, because that's what you have to do to have a viable car that you can actually sell to the public. There are a few foibles in that, but most of the chassis, apart from the common conception, it isn't actually wood. It is an ash frame underneath, but only in parts. The actual monocoque of the car is steel. It's not an ash frame. It seems to be the conception that these cars are made out of wood underneath, and they are not. These are just really cute. It's just cute, really cool. I mean, the interiors are just top notch. You would find that interior in any modern car except the wood. That's an even better touch. Modern materials, newer car. And over here we have an MGZT, surprisingly, that has had a lot of work done to it. It's quite chromy. It's quite aluminium-y. So I think that's the idea. And everything is clean, including the gearbox casing. I mean, wow. Okay, someone spent a lot of money and time on this. I mean, even the pipe work is just, oh, that's so nice. Gunmetal alloys, leather seats. It's completely original in there. And then with the spoiler at the back side. I can't remember what the name of these lights are. I'm sure that these weren't original to the MGZTs. I might be wrong because I don't know as much about them, but I'm pretty sure they would have come out of the factory looking like that. So I don't know what these are, but if you do know what they are, please put them in the description. Do they have a particular name? Because this is what you'd have normally got, and I just think these are the best alloys for any MGZT. I think they just look stunning. Got your twin pipes there at the back with your nice little finisher over there, and the owner's left the windows open, and it is a full leather interior with obviously the colour coordinated dashboard on the MG versions, and obviously on the steering wheel in this case. Was that a standard fitment? I'm not too sure about that, but this car may have been driving to quite a few different places, and it is a 53 plate. I love the mesh grille. I think that's a really nice touch. Range Rovers. Do you think I should talk about this? It is a Range Rover Sport, so I assume it's a Sport. If I come round to the back, it does look like a Sport because it looks bulbous. Yes, the Sports, you can tell it without even looking at the back. They are bulbous on the sides with this big kick plate out the side. Range Rover Sport, Range Rovers, the proper Range Rover, they look a little bit more subtle, a little bit more classy. These are an interesting car. These were very cheap. Even today, they're still quite cheap. You can buy one for a few £1,000s, and you do get a lot for your money. It's just the reliability for me isn't quite there, but it's nice to see somebody enjoying this car and bringing it here. And then we have the F-Type. Oh yes, we have to have the F-Type. I think they got the styling perfect for this car. I can understand why this is an all-wheel drive one as well, but they got the styling perfectly right. How can you replace the E-Type? This is the true successor to the E-Type. The XJS is a car in its own right and its own status, and it should be like that. I do like the swooping centre console. I think that was a nice cute touch. Future classic? They already are. They were classics the moment they came out. Ooh, a Mini John Cooper Works. Nice to see one of these about. And it's actually a brand new one, like a 23 plate. This is as new as you get. Automatic gearbox. Yes, you get automatic gearboxes on Mini Coopers these days. That's how popular they now are. The colour is something quite nice. But these now share so much with other BMWs that it's kind of lost the sense of being British in some respects, but it's still a great car. Another F-Type over here, right next to it, and we can just peer inside with the cream leather interior. I think every single one of them, I believe, you couldn't get it as a manual. Again, I might be wrong, but I think most of them are automatics. On a car like this, you'd want an automatic. Oh, we have Austin Healey Mark 1 Sprite, 1959. Very handy to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, K&Ns as well.
Old days, yeah.
Simple. You just smell the combination of petrol and oil. It's so nice to smell. Look at the like 4-5 knobs to pull out, and that's it. That's just cute, and because it's a Mark 1, it's got even less of what you would have on the later ones. They started adding all sorts of switches to the later ones. I'm going to offer somebody a challenge. The next time you go to a supermarket, park next to one of these. If you see one of these new Range Rovers, park next to it and put your Focus Mark 1 or your really small car next to it, because it looks stupid in comparison. And the Americans have just arrived. Ooh. Mini convertible. How British can you get then a mini convertible? And it is an R5053. R53 being this one. Anybody with a later Rover 25 will know and recognise that centre part of the dashboard. They definitely copied a few things. Rover 75 people will recognise the glove box. It's all very, very familiar. I'm not a fan of that seat. I think it looks a bit... I don't like the rear seats. I think they look a bit plain, but that's just me. There needs to be some lines to make that break that up a little bit, but hey, you know. Nice to see it here. Bentley Continental with its massively chrome mesh grille and huge avant-garde structure towards the back with these really nice curves. Now I have kind of saved these two, well, these particular two, because this is just so cute. How could you not love this? This is a H-Reg. Now I believe this would have been 68, I believe. The size of the wheels depict it as such. Now, this may be, I think it is a Mini Cooper. No, it is a Mark III Mini 1275. Now, I'm right in thinking that on a H-Reg that's not possible. So I believe that this has been messed about with a little bit. You've got Mr. Bean's Teddy there as typical. He has been messed about with a bit different steering wheel, but the interior looks completely original, including the BMW logo on the actual inertia rear seat strap. No, don't you just love how simple it is? Just gorgeous. And next door we have this absolutely bulbous Range Rover in comparison to the Mini, considering that this is the classic Range Rover on a J-Reg, so this would be 1992 with the Rover 3.9 V8. That's the one I would go for, because I'd just be biased towards Rover V8s. but it is nice to see some patina. Most of them look like this, and they should look like this. They are workhorses. I remember the only experience I have of these cars is being given a lift in one as a child. I remember how big the step up was on the ground. Automatic as well, typical on the 3.9 V8. Most of them were automatics. I think very few of them were manuals. That is what I keep saying all the time. One life, live it. Don't put off the good stuff. Live your life now. Now, we have the first one, Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. In black, dark and mysterious, and we have absolutely gorgeous engine underneath. Really, really nice and clean. Wow, okay. This is used and enjoyed, and I love all the gauges to tell you all sorts of information on this car. Ooh. Ooh. You know what? You know, it doesn't matter if you're not into Alphas. Even if you're not into Alphas, you cannot but admire how beautiful they look. If you're into cars, you're just going to like it. End of.
If you look at the engine,
I mean, who thought about alloys, that design? It's just so Italian, so Alpha. Another John Cooper works. I think I could have spotted that a mile off, to be fairly honest with you. I think this is a relatively new car because they've started doing the British thing a few years ago with the rear lights, which is, I think, is a really nice touch. Again, another automatic. Are they all automatics? Are the manuals dying out so much that they're sticking automatic gearboxes on John Cooper works? Things have really changed. I have seen quite a few of these near me, Baths, and I had the opportunity, again I keep saying that, I did have the opportunity of buying one, but it was on the basis of buying it to flip it. I said no because I just didn't have the money at the time, but I regret doing it because I could have made a pretty penny on flipping one of these. They are pocket rockets. I wouldn't like to necessarily own one, but I can see the appeal. Golf GTI, yeah. Oh my goodness me, we have a Rover 25 here. Whose car is this? I don't know if the owner is known to me. I did do a shout out. It's a 53 plate. This is a very nice surprise, and it's a late facelift one with the badge in one piece. Oh, now I'm properly excited. I've got a Rover here. Oh, nice to see. Oh my goodness me, it is my friend's. I've spoken with this owner. I think I've messaged him, and yeah, this is such a really nice car. We saw this at the Pride of Longbridge, all leather interior, and the owner absolutely loves it to bits. And I'm so glad it's here.
this is the thing.
Now, I had to come back over here because a few of the cars have changed since a quick lunch break. Good grief. GTB Ferrari. Very nice to see here. Oh, 911 Carrera. Another one over here. Boxster GTS. Now, a Porsche 928 is one of the, I think, one of the most beautiful Porsches that's ever been made. Really, honestly, it was years ahead of the game. This is when they started, wow, they got rid of the covers on the headlights. It was just a pure pop-up headlamp, no covers. This weird styled rear window, absolutely something else.